Now that week 3 is underway, the studs are really starting to separate themselves from players you're struggling to find week in and week out to start. So I'm back with 4 more must-start players for week 3, starting off with Jordan Addison, wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings. He's ranked as the wide receiver 35 on Football Guys weekly rankings. We saw his snap count increase from week 1 to week 2, 56% to 69%. He's seeing 13% target market share on Minnesota, which is currently 4th on the team. I think he's going to go up to 3rd after this week and pass KJ Osborne. Osborne's continued his drops, allowing Addison more work. We're seeing that effectiveness on the field with Osborne yards per route run at 0.76 and Addison's yards per route run at 1.99, almost at that 2 yards per route run mark. The Chargers are first in fantasy points allowed to wide receivers through 2 games. Let's check out the tape and see what Jordan Addison provides. As a player, you can really start to build some of your lineups around up at the top of your screen here. This is one of the areas he's going to continue to be used as down the field on the deep threat. I love the play design of this concept for the Minnesota Vikings. It gets Jordan Addison in a one-on-one situation. Down the field, at the bottom of your screen, they have a wide receiver screen play run where Osborne's running. You see Justin Jefferson here is going to come around and make it look. They're going to give a pump fake look down here as well. TJ Hawkinson's going to give a little bit of a fake like he's blocking. And then they add a little wrinkle where he's going to take to the middle of the field. What that's going to do is it's going to drop the safety here underneath and force them to make a decision. Right here, you're going to see him, this safety here on the deep part of the field, come down to where TJ Hawkinson is as he's clearing that underneath linebacker. And with Jordan Addison running this little outward breaking route and then taking it upfield almost like a corner post route, he's going to slightly give that corner an outside lean and then head downfield for a big play where he shakes off that corner for a big touchdown. At the bottom of your screen, we get to see a little bit of what Jordan Addison is going to continue to provide. In that short area burst off the line of scrimmage, he puts the deep safety into conflict, generating a big play downfield. And what this does, again, is that you're generating this type of movement from your corner. You're going to come outside and then break underneath and around him before this corner even gets off the field. So you have a deep safety here. And when you have Justin Jefferson running a deep dig over the middle of the field, and then Addison putting that safety into conflict, you can really interchange how these players are used, but also, again, it makes that safety have to make a decision. Am I going to come downhill to Justin Jefferson, the best player in the best wide receiver in the NFL, or am I going to continue with this rookie receiver who is taking the cornerback up the field and out of the picture? I have to take that responsibility. So he is doing a good job of just being a part of the offense and generating big plays. That contributes to how he's going to be used in this offense. And then the other thing we're seeing from Addison is the downfield manipulation tactics that made him a first-round pick. Great job getting in the blind spot of this cornerback. He doesn't get the ball here, but watch how he ends up attacking. So he's going to run this basically outward, force this corner with an inside release, all that cushion. He's going to eat it up. He's going to take it to the out, force this cornerback to turn his head around, basically. And when he brings him back, this is what I love about watching Jordan Addison work right here, is that he's going to slow it down, put his hands on the back of that corner right there, like he's going to continue to go upfield and around. Instead, he's going to break it off into this zone spot underneath this soft spot of the defense and be wide open, breaking off the corner. He's an absolute must start for me this week. I think he can break into those top 24 of wide receiver scoring. Again, the Chargers defense has not been great. They have to figure that out. And the Minnesota Vikings defense isn't great. So I think this is a week where you see him get a bunch more targets and be on the field even more than normal. Getting into the second wide receiver we're talking about today is none other than Atlanta Falcons wide receiver Drake London. He's currently ranked as the wide receiver 38 on Football Guys weekly rankings. London is 4th on the Falcons in target market share as well at 15%, but last week he was 1st on the team with 24%. There was a clear message to get him the ball more, and he's running routes on 88% of his snaps, and they play the Lions this week. They're coming off 30 points given up to the Seahawks. Detroit is also 9th in fantasy points allowed to wide receivers through the first 2 games. I do think that this is another spot where the Detroit Lions defense is an area that you want to attack. And with the Atlanta Falcons understanding here that they want to finally get the ball to Drake London, makes this passing offense go. And from the first play of the game against the Packers, we see that they want to get him the football. He's a really underrated short area player, and that's why he's been so good getting open at the NFL level, is that even for his size, he's able to generate missed tackles. He's able to make guys miss in like what we call in the phone booth right here. He does a great job waiting for that block. Number 63 is coming downhill right here to take him up. So he's going to just press it like a running back does and then go underneath the block. Fantastic job sidestepping there with that short area burst to get that first down. They continue to attack him in this football game. You're going to see him at the top of your screen here. The Falcons are running a dagger concept. For those of you who don't know, the dagger concept is a deep developing route play concept where you have the inside receiver here, who is Kyle Pitts, is going to run up the seam or just down the field, depending on how you're running the concept. And Drake London is going to run behind it here with this downfield dig. So it attacks multiple areas of the field, downfield as well as intermediately across it. And Drake London is going to be the beneficiary here with the good pass protection underneath from the Falcons offensive line. A good spot for Desmond Ridder to throw that football in between the defense up and away, because you can't hit those receivers as they're going up to get the football anymore. Those are defenseless receivers. It's actually a really smart play to put that above and let Drake London go, use his body to protect the ball in the air, and then come down with it for a big play first down. The Packers played a lot of cover, of a lot of zone defense, whether it's cover 4, cover 2, just having their corners and safeties in zone coverage. And that it doesn't always allow Drake London to beat a guy like Jair Alexander, who he saw on his side of the field most of the time, until you get a play like this where he's trying to move Alexander out of that outside zone coverage to be able to get his outbreaking route to unfold. I love watching wide receivers do this because, again, the corner here is going to be playing outside leverage. So as the wide receiver, your job is to try to move him. So he's going to stem it inside just a little bit, make Jair Alexander come to him, and then he's going to break across his face through that physicality, get open where Desmond Ridder can hit him downfield. This is what I love. This is the best part, with that nice little hesitation at the top of his route, and then through the physicality, you can see that he's already moving to his left with Alexander almost like halfway in between, moving that way as well, but he's still moving to his left. So through the physicality, good ball, we see the hands come down. So this is an area where, again, against the Detroit Lions defense, that I think you can continue to attack with Drake London in this downfield passing offense that's going to be predicated upon play action, like that play was. It was using play action fake to get the ball downfield to Drake London. And the Lions defense, their corners are not very good. This is definitely an area where Drake London is a must start in a game that I think can be high scoring as well as close in the fourth quarter, so they're not just running the ball away. Drake London, start him. The next guy is a disappointment to many this season. Everybody, honestly, we've started him in most of our lineups. Pat Freiermuth of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's not been a great play this year, but he's currently ranked as the tight end 21 on Football Guys weekly rankings. And last year he played the Raiders, and they have the Raiders coming up, who are 5th in fantasy points allowed to tight ends through 2 games. And last season he had 8 targets for 7 catches and 66 yards in their 13-10 win. This year against tight ends, the Las Vegas Raiders have given up 18 targets, 15 catches, 109 yards, and a touchdown. Pat Freiermuth is only seeing about 6% of the target market share in Pittsburgh. That has to change, especially with Deontay Johnson out now on IR. He was just not getting enough of the ball, enough of the attention. I'm not entirely sure why the focal point was to go away from one of your best weapons when arguably your best wide receiver is out. But they continued to do that. And right here, this is another area where I'd love to see. I know it's third down. I know you're trying to get the ball downfield, but this is an opportunity for your big mismatch tight end, to make a play. It's a pass block release where we see a lot of teams doing this, and he's passing it up for what is a low percentage throw to George Pickens. He's not open. There's going to be safety help over the middle. Like, there's not a lot of, even underneath, there's linebacker help underneath. There's not a lot of help there for Pickens. So with this was also available multiple times throughout this game, not just on this third down, but it's an area where they definitely need to attack, get the ball to Pat Freiermuth more with ability to get upfield and possibly get that first down. So I was a little disappointed to see that they didn't make it an effort to get him the ball in those situations when he's clearly, one of their better players. And what they do here, they motion him from right to left, and it creates a little bit of a fold here. So Pat Freiermuth is now on the bottom of the screen where there's less defenders around. And all we're doing here is we're just trying to get him the ball in space so he can make an adjustment, right? And he's just going to run out here out of the stack formation and just get open. That's all he has to do, make an athletic catch, go get a first down. But instead, he turns to the football where there's two defenders in the area. So you have a very easy decision for Kenny Pickett to make with, again, this is from last season against the Raiders where he had those catches and yards for him. So being able to get the ball there, I think, is going to be something they can continue to attack. And Pat Freiermuth is one of the mismatches that you can continue to throw out there against the Raiders. And I definitely just think that this week there's going to be more of an obvious ability and need to get him the football, kind of feed him a little bit after he had one target and one catch against the Browns. So this is a nice adjustment here into zone coverage where you have the underneath defender. You're going to just come down, put a body on him. He's going to get out here. Quarterback is going to end up getting out around in the pocket. And this is where he makes his money. He's a very, very good zone player. He gets here. He's looking for the ball. He realizes the quarterback's coming out. So with that contact, it was a really nice job of surveying the field when he's moving. He sees that this defender is now going to go to the quarterback, so I can turn around, be in open space, and get that football, be an outlet for my quarterback. That's something you really do notice when you put on Pat Freiermuth tape, is that he's a very good zone player. He gets in the zone, he can get out of zone, he can find when the play breaks down exactly where to get into. So yes, Pat Freiermuth has had his struggles this season, but I think given the way that the Steelers want to play football, they do want to run the ball, they want the play action, but they also want to be able to match up their good players against the players that are on the other team, get those matchups properly. And I think that Kenny Pickett is going to go back to his tight end, one of the better younger tight ends in the NFL. And I think Pat Freiermuth is going to have a huge bounce back week this week. Again, it's tight end landscape. He doesn't have to do much to help your team out. And he's definitely somebody this week that I'm counting on against the Las Vegas Raiders. The last guy we're going to talk about is none other than quarterback CJ Stroud for the Houston Texans. He's currently ranked as the quarterback 25 on Football Guys weekly rankings. He's QB6 last week when he had 23.6 points. He had a couple of touchdowns, and he looks very, very comfortable. He has thrown 44-plus passes in back-to-back weeks to start his career. He's been in negative game scripts in both Week 1 and Week 2. Against Jacksonville, coming off a disappointing loss to the Kansas City Chiefs, I expect them to continue to be in those situations. They just lost Derek Stingley as well, and he's developing chemistry with his weapons. They have some of the better weapons for any of the rookie quarterbacks right now. And it looks like he's going to get Laramie Tunsil back this week, which is a huge boon to a player who played well last week and can play even better this week. Jacksonville is also 5th in fantasy points allowed to quarterbacks through 2 games. So let's show you how exactly CJ Stroud has looked in the different ways he's attacking defenses and how comfortable. Again, he really looks. This is a fantastic throw with anticipation to Nico Collins, but he's been a go-to player for CJ Stroud for a lot of different reasons. One of the big reasons is that he's a big-bodied receiver, and they do a good job here of getting him the ball into space on this post, this dig down the field. He's going to read number 44 right here, with the wide receivers out here in the stack formation, as well as the running back is going to leak out that way. It's going to make the defense adjust slightly to some of the receivers out on the left side of the offense, and that's going to create a hole on the right side where, with anticipation, CJ Stroud is going to read that number 44. You see the body language opening up to this side of the field. So he knows it would be very difficult for number 44 to turn around and get into this throwing lane. So what does he do? Gets to the top of his drop, boom, ball's out on the money to Nico Collins in space for yards after the catch. That's a huge point, because in order to generate fantasy points, you can continue to get those with those those yards after the catch from receivers. He's going to pick on the exact same guy. This time, here's number 44, the linebacker for the Indianapolis Colts. This is a window throw, okay? They're going to also run dagger like we saw the Falcons do earlier in this breakdown. Another one to Nico Collins here, but you can see number 44 had no idea where the ball was going, and I absolutely love watching this. So they're going to take Tank Dell up the seam, Nico Collins on a deep dig across the middle of the field, and then again, watch number 44. I'm going to slow it down so you can see what happens, but this guy is going to be picked on once again, and I love the eyes and the usage from CJ Stroud here. They come out, split action, play action drive, and then here's the throw, okay? So here's number 44. And we know that on the break, on that dig route from Nico Collins, that Stroud wants to get the ball out. So we're going to slow this down, and I'm going to show you how this all works out. It's so much fun. So here's what I mean by a window throw. So you have multiple windows here, but to get the ball to this receiver out here, you can throw the ball into the first window right here or the second window. That linebacker underneath thinks he's going to the first window. So he breaks down, and then it's too late. It's just so much fun to watch this offense when it's going and CJ Stroud's in command of it like he is right here. Just there's a play action fake, and then again, watch number 44 get out there. There's that throw, boom, right behind him into open space for another big gain. Fantastic job. And this is the last play. It's important for 3rd and 8, just a little bit of context for you. They're going to run a sail concept, and the 2 high safeties that you see right now currently are going to change post snap. So they're going to try to fool CJ Stroud here. Good thing for him, sail works against 2 high as well as man. So they're going to bring down, they're going to double the top of your screen. Fantastic throw to Robert Woods on the corner route here. So they've been burned by this dig route a few times now. So they're going to just double team this one right here. You got man-to-man coverage. That safety's coming down. Whoever's on the outside here, it's not happening. You're not getting the ball here. On the left-hand side of your screen, the sail concept, the clear-out route here from Tank Dell. Robert Woods is going to be the one running the corner route. He's going to kind of flatten it a little bit. Instead of running a true corner, you're going to flatten it off just a little bit. Number 9 is also going to be an outlet receiver in case, on 3rd down, you have the ability here to throw it. But the running back going to be the last part of this. Comes out here. So this, against man coverage, it works as well, but you see that the clear out is taking away any defenders coming out there, and then Robert Woods flattens that out against inside leverage. The ball's placed well, a little bit of anticipation throw there from CJ Stroud, and it's just a fantastic read of the defense, and again, throwing that to a good spot where he can go catch it and get a completion for a 1st down. So I think CJ Stroud can easily finish inside the top 12 again this week against Jacksonville, where they haven't been the best in the pass defense coverages, in my opinion, when you watch their defense play. And again, negative game script. I think this is going to be a game where they have to throw the ball a lot, and he's getting comfortable. So CJ Stroud, he's going to continue to be a guy I think you can start as even in 1 QB leagues if your quarterback is Deshaun Watson, even Jared Goff to an extent. They might run the ball a bit more in that game and score. So there are some quarterbacks that you can play CJ Stroud above, and I would have zero qualms about it. And he's definitely a guy I'm starting this week. I hope you guys enjoyed the film breakdown here, all the stats and everything we're going to keep giving you every single week. Stay tuned. We've got more coming. You guys have yourselves a fantastic day.